lively stuff. Well, Mike, let's go to you first. Richard Tice's position is quite clear. He says, under international law, under treaties, he's read them all, a Royal Naval cutter can pick the people up out of the small boat, and rather than bringing them back here... Bringing them here, not back here, bringing them to Britain, take them back to France. There'd be a huge diplomatic row with France who said, that's what we should be doing.
Yeah, but there's no political will to do it, is there?
No.
Start off with, we haven't got enough Navy ships to... if we did that, it'd be tokenism, because we could do it perhaps once, you see what I mean, and say, look,
but
we're now...
But deterrent.
Well, it would be if the boats were there all the time. But we've got boats now in the Red Sea, we've got boats in the South Pacific, because they're looking after our interests around the world.
We should hire some.
Well, look, I'm with you there, but where's the political will, Andrew?
There is none.
You know, we don't even push the boats back. We should be able to push the boats back. We should have followed the Australian model. And when I see the former Australian PM, who...
John Howard.
John Howard, thank you very much indeed, talking about the way we sorted it and got them offshore. Why don't we follow that model? Because there's no political will. Because they're saying, oh, well, you know, if you pushed a boat back and it sort of tipped over and people fell in the water, there is no political will to get tough.
Well, I'm sorry, Australia, what they've got that we haven't got is 1,000 miles of water between the place where the immigrants were coming from.
Yes.
They've also got 15 different little islands they can put people up. There
I
are
agree.
no islands that I'm aware of in the Channel. But look, the reality is that Richard Graham's actually making one slightly serious point, you know, about which you and I have argued about this before, Mike. If you did manage to find a charter company that was somehow prepared to actually get a vast amount of insurance to actually take people to Rwanda, you'd have to have, as you rightly said, one prison guard for every single person on that, because it just needs one person to stand up. But on the business about ships in the Channel, there is no way, on God's green earth, no way that a ship could actually come up to a river, a rigid inflatable boat, and say, we're going to, as you said, pluck them off onto the ship. The minute you did that, they'd get a dagger and they'd stab the boat, they'd start to sink. Under the law of the sea, you have to rescue those people.
But we've seen endless pictures of migrants being brought in on tugs and naval cutters who have been taken off of a dinghy or a small boat and brought here. Why can't we take them to France?
I don't see that many of that.
If we see any, that shows we can do it.
Yeah, well, that's when a ship is, when a boat is sinking, and you know, or a rigid inflatable boat, or a lido.
Stephen, I don't think it is. What about the RNLI boats? They're used like a taxi service.
Are you saying they should turn around and go back to France?
Well,
yes.
Why not? Why not?
Because the minute they entered French waters, the French would actually say you cannot enter.
All the money we've spent trying to get the French to cooperate with us could surely include some facility at sea for the Royal National Lifeboat Institution to go back to France and not come here and deliver those people safely to another vessel.
The RNLI have said repeatedly that they would not do that. They simply couldn't. That's in complete breach of their charitable role. But look, the reality is, we all know we're looking at this the wrong end of the argument here. We're not looking. We should be looking at where they're coming from in the first place. We should be looking at processing them in France, as we did in Sangatte.
A safe country. They're coming from a safe country.
No. After that, sorry, Tony. Look, the point being, the people who come here, some of the ones who come here completely illegally, could actually have a proper, well-founded case for asylum, and we could get them into this country working and paying tax. A lot of them should be put in the boot of a car and driven back to Tirana.
But Stephen, only this week we've heard even French politicians saying a reason a lot of them head for the UK is we're a soft touch.
We've got
a wonderfully developed welfare system, and they take advantage of it. When are people going to start listening that if you make this country so attractive, you are going to entice people here?
Hang on a second. Benefits are higher in France and in Germany.
Well, why don't they stay there?
I'm making the point. The fact it isn't just the benefits. It's the language. It's the family connection.
Because they speak English. It's because largely English is the appeal. Because they can communicate here. They don't speak French. They don't speak French.
But look, we used to process these cases in Sangatte, and that's what we should be doing again.
There's too many of them now. There's too many of them now because they've been encouraged. I mean, it's almost like the Chinese Silk Road. You know what I mean? There's a route now from as far back as sort of Ethiopia, from North Africa, and it's like a conveyor belt. And now it's such a developed industry. People forget that people smuggling is the biggest industry in the world, involving billions of pounds for people to go across the border into the United States and for people to come across Europe to this country.
More than
and you've got to smash that model. Sorry?
I would have thought drugs would have been much more than that.
No. People smuggling
is
very often it's the same people, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.